A presentation of the Central West Tennessee Association of Realtors and sponsored by Leaders Mortgage Services, Allstate Insurance, NG Houghton Hughes, and Duvison and Associates National Property Inspections. And we've got a crowd of folks up here on the studio podium this morning. And unfortunately, our Brent Ward has run away. We have run him off after only a couple of weeks, and we've got Cleve Marsh back up here in his place today. Good morning, Mr. Marsh.
Good morning, Mr. Duke. How are you today, sir?
I am good. And yourself?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you very much for asking. You did ask earlier about my weekend activities, as did a couple other people.
Yes.
I failed to tell you because I'm so hurt over it. It's just awful, Jimmy. It's just awful.
What?
I shoveled mud out of my garage at the river all weekend long. I can't even hardly uncurl my hands. They fit a left hand and a right hand shovel. I will tell you that right now.
I bet they do. I really hate that happened to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
He was. Those that don't know, Cleve lives up at the river up around Clifton, and the river decided it wanted to be a little bit closer to him than it normally should be.
And it certainly
he had
did.
Several feet of water in his lower level of his house.
5 feet even.
Oh, man, that's
Not
awful.
fun.
That is
Not
awful.
fun.
You know,
Not
I
fun.
really, on a lighter note, being the duck hunter that you were, I figured you did that on purpose so you wouldn't have to go out of the house to shoot ducks.
Do not laugh at him. It encourages this stuff. I just don't understand it. Jimmy, I've got a host of guests
Yes,
this
you
morning.
do.
How about
Yes,
that?
you do.
Is
That
a
is
host good?
A host is
of
good.
guests?
A host
All
is
right.
good. A gaggle is good.
I'm going to start at my left this morning, and I'm going to thank these nice people for being here. On my left is a lady by the name of Ella Harris, and Ella is with the Tennessee Housing Development Agency. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Okay, I'm going to turn the mic to you in just a second. And on her left is Kimberly Allen. Kimberly is with CWTAR, the Central, what'd I say? And what is it?
It's Evans.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Jimmy, did you do that?
Let's see. Let me
Jimmy,
get over here in the error column.
Check error column 1 for Cleve this morning. Where in the world did I get that? Okay, I'll read that better next time. All right. She is with the Central West Tennessee Association of Realtors. Brent challenges me to say that correctly every time because my tongue, I washed it and couldn't do a thing with it yesterday. All right, on her immediate left is Tim Sykes. Tim is with our sponsor, Leaders Credit Union Mortgage Services. How about that?
That works.
That will work?
That works.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start off with Ella and let Ella tell us what THDA actually stands for and why she's here today.
Good morning. Good morning. THDA stands for Tennessee Housing Development Agency, and I'm here this morning to share with the listening audience what we do for veterans. We have a program that we call Homeownership of the Brave, specifically designed for veterans.
Home ownership for the brave, specifically designed for. I told you I watched it for veterans. Is there a maximum loan amount? Let's start off with that question because if I were, and I almost was, a veteran, and I wanted to buy me something about $500,000, could I do so?
No, unfortunately, you couldn't do $500,000. What THDA really does, we are the state's housing finance agency, and we provide down payment assistance for low to moderate income Tennesseans to purchase homes. In Madison County, low to moderate is not necessarily low. The acquisition cost of a house can be as much as $300,000.
Well, I think Jimmy could tell you that I would probably qualify because I'd be low to moderate. Jimmy and I have been doing this for free now a year. So I think that puts me in the proper category. If I could, how does that apply to what you guys do over there at Leaders, Tim?
Well, we do work with Miss Ella on several loans, but we also do an independent Veterans Administration loan. Could be for a veteran with higher income than what Miss Ella's program would offer. We do those across the board. We love our veterans.
Okay, so what you're saying is she mentioned that they provide down payment assistance. So when you said you work with her, when she provides a down payment for one of your clients, a veteran client, that's why we're talking about this today, you then begin the process working through with her assistance. Okay?
Correct.
I'm good. I look at that. I actually got one right. Okay. Refinance and second liens are ineligible. So it's for the purchased product only. That means that they buy the house or what?
They buy the house. It has to be a purchase. And one of the things that's unique, if your listening audience may know that a veteran can get a 100% loan. Here's where THDA's program comes into play. In a transaction where maybe the veteran needs closing costs to be covered, then what THDA does, our program, Homeownership of the Brave, provides up to 5% that can be used for closing costs, prepaids, or if the veteran chooses to put money down, they can put money down. But in addition to that, we have a first mortgage interest rate that, because of the veteran status, he can get it 50 basis points lower than the regular consumer. Now, THDA is not a direct lender to the consumer, so you must go through an approved lender, such as Leaders, to get our program. But we control the interest rate on that first, and as I said, the veteran can get it at 50 basis points less than the average consumer. In addition to that, our program is generally for first-time home buyers. Well, guess what we do for the veteran? He does not have to be a first-time home buyer. He can be a repeat buyer. And he doesn't have to use his entitlement. If the veteran has previously used his entitlement, well, we can do FHA loans with this program. We can do USDA loans with this program. We can do conventional loans with this program. But we still will provide that 5% for closing costs, down payment, prepaids, whatever the veteran needs, and the 50 basis point reduction in the rate.
That's pretty strong. Sounds like a good program. Wonder how many veterans we have involved in this at this point in the state. Does anybody have a number on that? Tim, would you, or Ella, you, either one?
I don't know. I don't know how many.
I would have to expect it would be a whole lot of people involved in that.
I don't have the numbers, but they could always contact THDA. Our research and development department keeps statistics on everything we do. So just they could always call 615-815-2100 THDA and ask for the research department to get the statistics on what we do with veterans.
That would be a really interesting stat. And you said something about the underwriting guidelines a moment ago. You do FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans, as I understand it. Is that correct, Tim?
That's correct.
And any of those loans can be, the term you used a moment ago, can be set up by you. Not set up, that's not the term.
THDA is not the direct lender. You go through our approved lenders, but whichever loan program the veteran chooses to use, because he's a veteran, yes, he can obviously do a VA loan. But say a veteran has previously used his VA eligibility, then now he may want to buy a house using a conventional loan program or an FHA loan program. They can do that. We are not a direct lender. We don't make loans. We just provide the program. So whatever consultation he goes through, or she, with his leaders, and determine which loan program is best for him, we are there to give him a better rate and closing cost assistance.
I was glad to hear you say that, he or she. Weren't you glad to hear that, Kimberly? Hey, Tim, no down payment. Who qualifies for no down payment?
Well, obviously all of our veterans, but we actually at Leaders have options across the board that a lot of people can qualify for no down payment.
How about Jimmy and me?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, check my pockets. I qualify.
Does qualify mean you don't have any money in your pocket? Or because that's me too. Jimmy and I are working for free here.
Maybe.
Okay.
We do have several programs, though, for people that are looking to buy a home, not necessarily right inside of Jackson. The USDA loan is a great program with no down payment. Obviously, all of our military veterans and active duty can go with a VA loan. We also have some in-house products that would not require a down payment as well.
Gotcha. 15-month low rate, record lows. What does that mean to you?
It's time to buy.
Time to buy, he said.
Rates right now are as low as they've been in the last 15 months, And if you look back historically, 15 months ago, we were at all-time record lows. So it doesn't get any better than it is right now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience who can't see Mr. Sykes, he is the slender, young, bearded man as opposed to the...
That's enough.
Oh. I thought I had a chance at you right
No,
there.
no. You thought I was asleep
shot.
over here.
I really was. And then, of course, if he were here, and I'd love for you to account for where Mr. Brent Ward is, Kimberly, if you don't mind, because he was supposed to be here this morning, and he had no idea. He didn't come help shovel mud, but he called me in off the bench.
I assume he's at a fancy realtor meeting in a different city. He gets called out for those a lot.
Oh, so he sneaked out on me and never said a word to me about that.
He likes to complain about being gone, but to me, anytime you're working and it's a paid trip away, especially as a mom of 4, I think that's a vacation.
That's when he was talking to us. That's the one he refers to as cover story number 12.
Cover story. He did give us that little file to use for that. Would you, Tim, if you don't mind, answer this question for me? As short as 10 years, if you were to, and I know you don't have a calculator in front of you, if you were to give me a rough idea of the difference in a 10 and a 30-year loan on just something average, use a number there that would tell me how much more beneficial a 10-year loan would be to someone as opposed to a 30-year loan. But why do you want to do that? Don't you make money charging interest? Hello?
Well, you will have a lower interest rate if you do a shorter term. Now, your required payment per month will be higher, but there are a lot of people out there that would prefer to go ahead and knock it out and get it over with in the first 10 years as opposed to stretching that out over 15, 20, or 30 years. I guess that's really going to depend on your disposable income at that point.
Do you do a 40? I need a 40.
We can probably work something out.
Okay, a little something ahead. What is an... I can't even read this. It's got too many R's in it. I-R-R-R-R-R-R-L. Is that it? Did I do that right?
That's close. It's we refer to it as an IRL.
An IRL.
It's an interest rate reduction refinance loan, and
Jimmy,
that's.
You ever heard of one of those?
I have, yes.
Okay.
It's a refinance program for a veteran who already has a VA loan.
Interest rate reduction refinance loan.
Correct.
Which one is it?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah,
explain, please.
It's a great program for someone who already has a VA loan that may have bought that home in the last year when rates were a little higher than they are now, or several years ago, and they just want a better interest rate. There's no down payment with that. Obviously, you already own the home. There's no appraisal required. We don't have to go through all the income checks that we do on the initial purchase. It's just a streamlined way to refinance a home and lower your payment per month.
Jimmy and I want that today.
We do.
No income check. Come on now. No appraisal necessary. But I'm sure you have to have some little history in there. The background tell you that I did pay a payment or two.
We will look and make sure that you're current. And on the income check, we do require that you have an income, but we don't go through all of the debt-to-income ratio calculations that are necessary on the front end.
I got you. Okay. That sounds very interesting, and I hope there are a number of veterans who are listening out there. I will recount just before break here the folks that have joined me. The man who was just speaking was Tim Sykes with Leaders Credit Union. Beside him is Kimberly Evans with CWTAR. I got that one right today. And I know something about Kimberly that I'm going to tell you right after the break. And beside me is Ella Harris with THDA, Tennessee Housing Development Agency. Mr. Duke is on my right, and he's going to take us into a short break.
Yes, I am. I'm surprised he didn't call you Alan Evans. So we did get it. We did get it right.
Okay, remember, my mic's still on.
I know he can't be though if we play your cards right. This is this is the Voice for Real Estate, a presentation of CW CWTAR, the Central West Tennessee Association of Realtors. Brent Ward is our normal host. He's away on a junket or something similar to that. Assignment, that's it. The show is sponsored every week here by Leaders Mortgage Services at 36 Stonebridge. You can contact them at 215-6678. Also sponsored by Allstate Insurance Company. Angie Hooten Hughes is the agent at 250 Carriage House Drive, 668-1990. And by Dubuisson and Associates, Inc., National Property Inspections, 467-6250.
Thank you, sponsors.
Absolutely. Our guest today, Ella Harris with THDA, Tim Sykes with Leaders Credit, and Kimberly Evans with CWTAR. Back to you. Oh, one more thing we almost forgot. We are streaming on the CWTAR Facebook page. We're on Facebook Live, and you can see that anytime you'd like. Paul Schulze. Paul, where's the hand? That's all we can get out of the booth because he has his other hand on the control. Paul Schulze with Worthy Road Studios makes that possible for us every week here on the Voice for Real Estate. Back to you, sir.
Here we are. I'm all ready for you, too. I'm telling you right now.
Always. Locked and loaded.
Ella, question for you. I think I heard you mention early on that the first-time home buyer rule does not apply for a veteran. The first-time home buyer rule.
Absolutely, that is correct. For our veteran buyer, you can be a repeat buyer. That is one of the rules or eligibility criteria that is laxed for veterans, in addition to having an interest rate on your loan program 50 basis points below the average consumer who participates in our program.
Tim, I'm going to take that a step further. She says that there's no eligibility requirement. Did I hear that? Did I say that right? No eligibility requirement?
Well, there's no first-time home ownership requirement. There are other eligibility criteria to participate in THDA's home ownership of the Brave.
See there, you thought I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm just trying to make sure that it's understandable to the listening audience, because some of them out there are smarter than I am, and I know that. Hey, Tim, what are the qualifications that you look for? Are they normal, standard, and customary for a veteran other than what she represents on the front end there?
Not 100% sure I understand what you're asking.
That's on purpose. I did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you asking,
is
in
this,
addition to the regular requirements for VA, are there additional requirements to partner with Miss Ella?
Let me tell you where I was headed here. Okay. I was headed to, they have some additional assistance through the THDA for veterans. So after they get the assistance that is offered to them and available to them, what are your requirements on it? Are they treated like a standard everyday customer? Like if I walked in the door as a non-veteran, do you then go to that criteria for them?
Well, we don't have standard everyday customers. We have members that we love and cherish.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. Did I set you up for that? Hey, that'll be breakfast tomorrow on you. Okay. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. All right. I've now been handed my down payment for my new yurt. So my question is, do they have separate criteria after they are established as a veteran, other than what we've talked about so far? Or are we treated as a veteran, or are they treated, because I'm not, are they treated as a veteran, especially all the way through?
We try to treat everyone like they're special.
Oh, there it is again, Jimmy. I can't get out of it.
He's trying to help you. You keep throwing the rope back.
We do have, there are some additional qualifications. Once your foot is in the door as a qualified veteran to buy a home, there are a few additional qualifications to see if they would then qualify for the additional 5% from Miss Ella and THDA.
Okay, hold on right there. That might be my confused point. Do they come to you first? And then at what point do they go to Ella? After they've come to you for a loan?
Usually they come to us to initially get qualified and see what they can do.
Okay, look at this. I can do this. I am so good at this. Go ahead.
Okay, from the initial application and review of documents and income and credit and things of that nature, then we can kind of boil it down and see if then that veteran would additionally qualify for Miss Ella's assistance.
Okay. Ella, would you agree or disagree with what he just said?
I agree with what he just said.
No. Okay, you were on the spot on that one. Actually, I was trying to word it to get out of you just exactly what you did say. I just didn't do a very good job at it. So I said that before the break I was going to bring back some information that I have had shared with me so that I could get a little rise out of Kimberly. Did you say Evans Allen or Allen Evans? It's Kimberly Evans, and she has a sweet husband that's near and dear. And I'd like for you to tell me what you were talking about earlier, if you don't mind.
Sure thing. My husband's name is Daniel. He has been at full-time National Guard for 24 years. We've been married 12 of those 24 years. We've known each other for almost the whole 24. I had to beg him to marry me. But anyway, that's a whole nother show.
That's not true. Now, if he were here, I'd ask him that question.
He would tell you he married up. We have an argument over who married whom.
We both would agree with that, you and I.
Oh, thanks.
Go ahead.
Okay. And in the process of those last 12 years, we have bought several homes and moved several times, all in the state of Tennessee, of course, because he is a Tennessee National Guardsman, so not too far from home.
So limited gypsy blood there, huh?
I'm a gypsy at heart. It does not bother my soul one bit to move across this great state. We were in Cookeville for 3 years before we moved back to the area. He's stationed in Humboldt, and we're from the Jackson area, and he's from Lexington. So we came home for a little while. Another possible move coming up. Everyone's praying that we get to stay here. They're all kind of wanting to keep us here, but the military does what the military does. So we may have another home purchase coming up as well.
24 years in the National Guard.
Correct.
What is his job there?
Currently, he is... he's probably going to shoot me for not knowing the proper answer to this. He is an executive officer with the Humboldt National Guard. It's the 30th CSSB. They handle operations and logistics, and they just got back from deployment to Afghanistan last August.
Oh, my. Thank him for us for his service. We really appreciate that.
Sure.
And you said his name is Daniel.
Correct.
And it is Evans.
It is.
I can do this, Jimmy.
I think so. You're getting there.
I'm getting warmed up as time goes by here. I have another question for Mr. Sykes. Mr. Sykes, closing cost credits for all veterans, civil servants, healthcare professionals, first responders, and teachers. What does that mean to you?
Those are credits that we give to all of our members. They're available across the board for a veterans loan, a USDA loan, an FHA loan. At Leaders, we have a certain closing cost already set of $899.
Okay.
Our veterans, as soon as they apply, they automatically get a $300 lender credit towards that $899. They can also qualify for up to 2 additional credits, all the way up to $900 worth of credits. So basically we pay $1 to our veterans as far as our closing costs are concerned. Those credits come across the board as timely return of documents, how quickly they go home shopping and find a house. There are other credits available for first responders, civil servants, firefighters, teachers. Sure, go.
Kimberly wants to add in here.
Yes. Actually, one of the reasons why we were hoping you would come in today is because there is a program that we haven't discussed yet. There are several veterans programs out there for home ownership and purchasing, but one of them is Homes for Heroes, and I know that you do work on some of the Homes for Heroes loans, and that is not just military. It's also, like you were saying, it's teachers, it's emergency personnel, and there are a lot of different benefits to that. I have a list, but if you know of those, I'll pass it back to you. And Homes for Heroes is actually a newer project. I found out about it when I was discussing Middle Tennessee with the auxiliary, but there if you go to the Homes for Heroes website, it'll actually direct you to the lenders and the realtors in the area that specialize in that. And that will actually give them extra benefits. They get a discount if they're buying on the home purchase price. They get after closing check back to them, reduced lender fees, title service reduction, home inspection is a little bit less expensive. If you're selling it, you actually get 25% credit on the gross commission of that realtor that specifies with the Homes for Heroes program.
My apologies. I was going to get Elle to jump in, but something just popped up. We have a sponsor, National Home Inspections. If Mr. Dubuisson were here this morning, and not speaking for him, but trying to understand, you mentioned home inspections cost less. Is that through the program, or do the home inspectors themselves participate in that, or do you know?
They would actually have to be part of the program. They would have to contact Home for Heroes and get on their list of approved services, and at that point, then they would qualify for the discount.
Okay. And in addition to what she just mentioned, THDA has another program that can be utilized by veterans. I mentioned the 5%. That's our standard Great Choice Plus program. But you may have heard something about HHF-DPA. That's the hardest hit funds down payment assistance, another acronym. But what's unique about that is it provides $15,000 for down payment and or closing costs. And the good thing about that program for the listening audience in Madison County, this program is designed for specific zip codes. Well, 38305 and 38301 are two of the zip codes that can participate in that program.
Wow.
Again, that's $15,000 for down payment assistance.
Not bad.
You know, Tim and I have had a conversation regarding that, about some downtown housing that has been purchased recently with some of those down payments. Excuse me. The $15,000 doesn't have to be used completely, does it? Or does it? Can it be used for other things?
The $15,000, it's all or none. The 5% program, you can use up to 5%. But for the $15,000, they have to use the entire amount. Now, what does that do for a veteran? We know that a veteran has to usually pay a funding fee to use the VA program. Well, and there's no down payment required. You can put money down. The more you put down, the lower the funding fee is on the VA loan if you're required to pay one. Some veterans, if they have certain disabilities, don't have to pay a funding fee. So that's a good thing. Now, when I say veterans, I'm referring to reservists, I'm referring to retired military, I'm referring to eligible spouses of veterans, I'm referring to active duty veterans. They only have to have served 180 days of active duty in the military to be eligible for our program. And one of the reasons we do lax the repeat buyer status is because we know they get stationed other places and may have to leave. Right. So THDA works with them when they have to be relocated. One of the other good things about THDA's program is we also service the loans. So for a veteran or any borrower, your servicing is all handled in Nashville, Tennessee, not some offshore third party who speaks limited English. They're all serviced here. So the veteran can feel assured it's a program for Tennesseans, serviced in Tennessee.
Okay, here it is right here. Funding fee. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Funding. Is that like the fee, my dear? Anything like the fee? What is that?
Okay, since I'm not a direct lender, but I'm going to briefly explain it. In order to use VA's program, there is what's called a funding fee that the veteran must pay, and it's sort of for the guarantee of the loan. It is a percentage. It depends on eligibility criteria. Again, if it's a disabled veteran, I'm sure you can attest to what the percentage is, they may not have to pay the funding fee. But if they start putting money down on the loan, that funding fee becomes less and less because they don't have to put a down payment as a veteran.
That's correct.
You're in agreement over there. I can see you shaking your head.
Yes, so there's multiple calculations to come up with the funding fee. As Ms. Ellis stated, typically there's an exemption for disability, so that there is no funding fee. The standard first-time usage fee is 2.15% of the loan amount, and then for subsequent uses, second time you use your VA loan, etc., is about 3.3%. And those are just added onto the loan. It's not typical that you would pay those out of pocket.
Great. I certainly hope that our veterans who may have been listening or live streaming today would benefit from what we've talked about here, and I really appreciate the three of you coming in. And if you would, we'll start with you, Tim. Tim Sykes, Leaders Credit Union. You gave me a couple of ways to contact you regarding this. Would you briefly tell us what those are?
Sure. You can call the office, 731-215-6678. There's a lot of good information on our mobile app. You can get that app by texting Tim S to 36260.
Great. Thank you very much. And now, Ella, if you will, how do we contact you for more information?
THDA has a very user-friendly website. We have you can go to thdA.org, or you can go to thegreatchoicetn.com, and that refers to our first mortgage loan. On that website, as a home buyer, one of the things we do require is home buyer education for our programs. You can find home buyer education providers on that program. You can get information about our guidelines. You can find out how to contact Leaders Credit Union on that website. So by all means, you don't have to have a password or anything to log on. Just log on.
Kimberly Evans, thank you for being here today. And if we need some CWTAR info, where do we go? What's your phone number there?
668-4907, or the website is cwtar.com or west10homesearch.com, either way. And you can find our office staff on there. You can find other helpful links, and you can also search for your next home on our website.
Wow, that's a whole lot of information. Thank the three of you for being here. Jimmy, thank you for your assistance today. I've enjoyed it and look forward to seeing you folks again. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Sounds great. Thank you all for being here. This is the Voice for Real Estate, presented by CWTAR, the Central West Tennessee Association of Realtors, and sponsored by Leaders Mortgage Services, Allstate Insurance, NG Houghton Hughes Agent, and Duvisson and Associates National Property Inspections. 9:48, the mid-morning mix continues.
Don't just dream it.